They're inside.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're logging on here. I want to wish you a very happy Easter morning on this cloud-covered day. I'm Pastor Jared, and this is my wife, Kate, our youngest, Isaac. Our other kids are around as we do an Easter sunrise service. It's family-friendly, and so if you have kids who are up and at them, I invite you to gather them. We're going to be having a short sunrise service. I have us in our driveway facing east with the hope that as we were gathering together for this short sunrise service that the sun would be rising in the background, and it still might, but we probably won't see it. I'm just thankful that it's not snowing yet. I saw the 7-day forecast, and it's at least 2 days had snowflakes on them, so not too pumped about this week ahead weather-wise, but I am pumped for today. Easter's worship is different, but it does not make Easter any different. I'm going to talk a little later this morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, for you who are joining us from outside of our area, that though most of our sanctuaries are going to be empty, so too, 2,000 years ago, was the grave. And so we take some hope in that. We take some assurance in that as we gather this morning to worship. Everyone has their own Easter traditions, and they're going to look different this year. Normally, we do an egg hunt, and I think we're still going to be able to pull that off. But we're not going to be able to have the big family lunch with all of our relatives, and the folks who usually come to our house on Easter aren't going to be able to do that this year. We are going to be able to join each other virtually later today. My aunt set up a Zoom call, but it still is going to be a meaningful day, even though our traditions and the way we celebrate is going to be a little different. This morning we're going to do a liturgy at sunrise here. And so sunrise, every year, thousands of people celebrate Easter at sunrise because the scripture that we're looking at later today, you can hear Levi, it's been an interesting morning. I was going to show you Levi, but he came out of his room this morning with markers all over his hands, all over his lips, mouth, teeth, face, and they weren't the washable ones. So he is extra colorful today. That's the way it is, right? Our kids are riding bikes and playing in the background. But we celebrate Easter sunrise because early on the first day of the week, the Gospel of John tells us, while it was still dark, Mary went and saw that the tomb was empty. And so we join her and thousands of others around the world early on the first day of the week, while it's still dark out, to worship the risen Christ. And so I pray that your morning may be holy. I pray that your morning might be authentic, and I pray that it will be joyful, even in the mess. As you can see, ours is already messy this morning. And so, however you find yourself on this day, may God grant you the grace that you need this morning and throughout our time together. Even though we cannot be near to one another at this time, God always draws near to us. See, even in the wilderness, my friends, God is there. So let us worship God together. If you have, go ahead and grab a Bible or a candle. If you've got a warm drink, a blanket. If you haven't made your way out to your front porch yet, do so now. It's beautiful out. It's surprisingly warm, and the birds are chirping, and it's gorgeous out. So find a comfortable place to settle in, and hopefully you can watch the sunrise. You can see it already peeking through the clouds. Beautiful out. And if you have a candle, and once you get settled in, go ahead and light it. This will kind of just, I'm going to grab a piece of wood here. Maybe you can see my candle a little bit. You can see the flame at least. Just allow this candle to be a spiritual reminder that this is a place, wherever you find yourself in your home or your porch, that is set apart. That this is a moment set apart. Even though the sun will rise, we, like the women at the tomb, begin our journey in the dark. So allow the flame to remind you that even in the darkest times, love and light find a way. Go ahead and invite your children. And Jath, I'm going to invite you. So let's put a pause on the bike. Addie, come over here. You join me, please. You guys can. Jath, I'm going to sit here. Addie will sit on my lap. And my hope is to be done by 7:30 because I've got a lot to do before worship this morning. Whoa. You kicked the candle. All right. So this is Adeline. Addie, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
And this is Jathniel. Jath, can you say hi?
Hi.
We got a lot of people watching this morning who are up already. Okay, I want to read a poem for you, and I want you girls to listen and to be thinking about what images come to mind. What does this poem make you think about? What words stand out? Can you, Jath, you want to hop up so you could stand right behind me? That way Mommy can sit there. So I'm going to read this poem. I want you guys to listen to, like, the nature words, okay?
Okay.
This is Isaac. I used to know the wilderness only as pain, a land without food, a land without water. But you rain down manna, and even water flows in your desert. I used to think the wilderness was total isolation, but the Israelites had each other, and you had the stars in the sky. So when I thought that the wilderness must be time wasted, 40 years of circles, 40 years of wandering. But then I realized each step is a step, and maybe there's growth in that. So then I concluded that the wilderness must be lonely places. The woman and her well, the blind man and his gate, Martha and her kitchen, Peter and his fire. But then you showed up in each of those places, to each of those faces. So now I wonder, what if the wilderness is the birthplace of creation? What if the wilderness is where call begins? What if the wilderness is where joy is birthed? What if, between the dirt and the sky, and that wide orange horizon, the wilderness is where we find you? Did you guys hear any nature words?
No.
Water.
What I only heard was stars.
Stars, that's a nature word. Stars and what? Forest and water. Water. Trees.
Grass.
Do you see any trees or grass or anything around here today?
I see all those stuff today.
Yeah, over there. And down there. How about you at home? Do you hear any nature words, or do you see, birds? Yes, the birds. Do you hear the birds chirping? Yes, and the grass is growing green.
I just love the sound of birds.
Me too, Addie.
I saw a bird too. It was up there.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, and I saw a bird that I saw when I was swimming outside one time, and I saw it, and I think that was its nest.
Oh my goodness.
And it's by our yard.
Well, hey, Jack, come here, because I'm going to read another thing, and this is from the Bible. It's John chapter 20.
Ooh, Bible.
And I want you to listen for a woman named Mary. Okay, there's going to be a woman named Mary, and I want you to listen to what happens to her. Okay, Levi, can you hear too? So I want you to listen what happens to Mary, Jath. All right. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. So she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved, and said, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have put him." So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both went running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon Peter, who was behind him, arrived and went into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the burial cloth that had been around Jesus' head. The cloth was folded up by itself, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple who had reached the tomb first also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from the scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Then the disciples went back to their homes. But Mary stood outside the tomb, crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb. She saw two angels in white seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the foot. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize it was him. "Woman," he said, "why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will get him." She said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet returned to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am returning to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary went to the disciples and told them the news. "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. What happened to Mary?
Whoa. You saw that the tomb was open?
The tomb was open. She was crying. Yes. What else happened to Mary? Why was she crying?
Because God.
What about God? What made her sad?
Did he die?
He died. Yeah, and she thought he was gone.
Oh yeah, and the Bible said he'll come back on Easter.
That's right. What day's today?
Easter.
What are some things that we do? And this is a question for you guys too, in your houses. What are some of your Easter traditions? What makes this morning so special for you?
To get Easter eggs.
Easter eggs?
Easter
Yeah.
eggs.
What are some fun things or traditions we do on Easter Sunday?
Paint eggs.
Paint eggs.
And
Yes.
get the eggs to have candy.
Yes, candy. Yep. Levi, what's some fun things we do on Easter?
Play a car.
We play and dress up. Can you show everybody your hands? Can you hold it up high?
Show your hand to the screen.
Yeah. See that nice painting you did on your hands? We washed those 3 times and they still look like that. Anything else that we do for fun on Easter? We're going to make some really yummy food.
We're going to make some really yummy food.
Yeah.
Want to shoot hoops, Levi? And we're going to play outside in the front yard if Dad can stop holding on to
Okay,
me.
you guys can go play a little bit. Hey, real quick though, what are some... Okay, that's fine. What are some things that you're feeling today? You guys at home, or Kate and me, how are you feeling? This is a different Easter. How are you feeling today?
It's a little sad to not be with family today. Usually we host Easter lunch after church with Jared preaching and being in churches. We've now hosted the last 6 years?
More than that.
More than that. Well, Jack
8.
is 7. Yeah, that's true. The last 8 years we've hosted Easter lunch, so
Or 7.
it's weird to not see family today.
Yeah, not to be
Physically see family today.
eating with them and hanging out. I wonder what emotions you're feeling today. You know, and we're going to talk a little bit later this morning. Even the scriptures here, there's a lot of emotions going on, and none of them are happy or good. They're all sad. There's grieving, and I said this last night in the brief Easter Vigil service we had. Like I have a lot of mixed feelings about later this morning. I haven't preached an Easter sermon in the last 3 years because I've been serving associate pastor. So it's been 4 years since I preached my last Easter sermon, and I love Easter sermons. I mean, this is my jam. And usually I get really excited, but today I'm not excited. I miss being with you. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm not like pumped up excited. It's going to be different not having the sanctuary jam packed, overflowing with people. I mean, I love it. So I don't know. There's mixed feelings here. There is some grief there that are here. I wonder what you're feeling. I encourage you to, as you're watching this morning for another 10 minutes or so, if that, to share with your those who are in your homes, or even in the comments section, how you guys are feeling today. There's always this mix of like joy on Easter, but today there's like a, for me at least, a grief, and yeah, I'm gonna miss some of this stuff. Jesus says to Mary, "Who is it you are looking for?" What is something that you are looking for in your faith journey? What is something you are looking for in your life, in your relationships, or your own self-growth? What is it that you're looking for in this season of your life? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I don't have any thoughts.
What about you, Isaac? What are you looking for? More food to eat?
Mm-hmm.
Some more teeth to keep chewing that?
Don't put that one back. You need that one.
I think one of the things that I think I'm looking for in this season that's like forcing me to go without some of the things that we've grown accustomed to, or just just seemingly trivial things of zipping to the store or playing on the playground. I mean, they're all roped off here, the caution tapes, which is good. I think I'm looking for continual discernment on what really matters to me, who really matters to me, what are the practices that give me life. Started doing a little woodworking again for the first time in a while, like fine woodworking, which is different than like plastering or putting drywall up in the family room. And that gives me life. So I think I'm looking for more of that, and even spiritually. I had a friend give me a wonderful image of, and we're going to be talking about this not just today, but for the next several weeks. She shared how plants in the desert, like only a few of them, like only certain kinds can survive, and even fewer can thrive in the desert. And not just plants, but even animals like a camel. Like they learn to be extremely efficient and tough. That when the few times that it rains, that they can hold on to it, and it sustains them for huge long seasons of drought. And I think spiritually, I'm looking to become more like that, of a cactus flower that can not just live but thrive in the desert in dry and hard and harsh conditions, like a camel who can continue to work and walk and travel. Even when the rain and the water is intermittent. So that's what I'm looking for. I wonder what you're looking for. Jesus asked that to Mary. Who is it you're looking for? Well, Mary ends her discussion with Jesus with a declaration, "I have seen the Lord." It's a statement of faith, a statement of hope, a statement of trust. Friends, where are you seeing God today, lately? Where have you seen God in years past, and where do you see God this very morning? I see God in my family, the joy of our overall of our children. There's this resiliency that they have, and this tenacity to play, that they can even when some of the places are that they normally play are restricted or prevent them from going to, it doesn't stop them. They just find new sidewalks to play on, new puddles to jump in, new adventures to create and to explore. I see God in their creativity and in their play. And I see God in my wife, certainly. Man, Kate's just carried so much more of the family load, as she always has. She's just a saint to us, to me. I see God in her a lot. I got in my family, sending me text messages or friends messaging, "He is risen." I mean, that's a grace this morning. And certainly the birds. I love the birds. We got to get more bird seed. They've been gobbling it up. But it's neat to hear in the stillness, life is flourishing all around, and that's so cool. So where are you seeing God at this morning, today, in your life? All right. Well, if you have children who are watching, I'm sorry, I'm not doing a good job of, because mine have been going like crazy. I'm sure yours are as well. But maybe you could ask them and yourselves, why do we celebrate Easter? What makes this day so special? What's so fun? What are you going to do today as we celebrate Easter? Oh, all right. Well, we've got just a couple more things. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to pray, and then we're going to do one last little thing before we end it. So Easter is a day of new beginnings and new life. It's a day of hope and love that overflows. It's a day of gratitude for the days we've had and for the days to come. Easter is a day where we remember that love is stronger than hate, and death does not get to have the final word. Therefore, it only seems appropriate to take a moment to practice gratitude. Listen to the birds chirping. Take a moment to appreciate the rising sun. Even though it's covered with clouds, you can see the warmth of its rays peeking through and changing their colors. And as you do, write down a list of 10 things that you're grateful for this morning. Allow this practice to be a prayer. And if you have children who aren't yet able to write down their own, consider making a gratitude list as a family. Feel free to extend beyond 10 things and instead try to write down as many things as you can think of that you're grateful for, making sure each person in the family has an opportunity to share. Another option would be to turn this exercise into a game by going around in a circle and inviting each person to add one more thing to the list. The trick is, you can't say something that has already been said. And in our house, that would last maybe one turn. But Kate, what anything that comes to mind that you are grateful for this morning?
Just when you were reading, that little list to think about. Isaac woke up he's been waking up around 4:30 every morning, and already at 4:30 the birds were just chirping like crazy, and it wasn't annoying. It was really peaceful and nice. I mean, everything else was so quiet, and you could just hear all the birds. So
yeah,
I've been thankful for all those sounds. Yeah, buddy.
I've been thankful for that we went for walks, but our neighbors have 2 trees in their backyard that are flowering right now. And I went for a walk yesterday. I saw quite a few of them in the neighborhood. I don't know what they are. Do you know what that is? But man, they are like just about to be like peak bloom. And man, that is so nice to look out the window and see their trees. Mm-hmm. That's 2.
Are you still going?
Do you want to go for 10, or do you want to keep going and see how many we get?
Kids in super cute clothes. I mean, look at that kid.
Oh my gosh.
And Levi has a bow tie on, but he didn't want to share his outfit. So it's always fun to dress them up super fancy for Easter.
And I'm thankful, was it your grandma who sent the girls new jean jackets and dresses for Easter? She still wanted them to have a new Easter outfit, even though, it's different this year.
Jath learned to ride her bike yesterday on 2 wheels, and so she's been up and down the sidewalk behind us. That's all she's wanted to do is just ride her bike. And so to see the joy of a child being able to do one of those life skills for the first time, it's been really fun to watch her.
Yeah, brings back a lot of memories. Oh, we're just laughing because Addie had like 5 coats on, and she's just a real character. Yeah. Thankful that we got to do some I got to do some yard work in the last couple of days. That's always life-giving to me. So, anyways, keep going in your circles. I got to hurry up and get around and get to church. But what is it you're thankful for? Allow it to be a prayer. I'm so thankful that God keeps showing up. And I think that this season is teaching me to pay more attention, especially to the things that I might consider or to be historical, or not historical, to be what's the word? I don't know, mundane or normal. I don't know. Paying attention to little things. It's cool. That's one lesson I'm learning. All right, so we are gonna start coming to a close here. But this Easter Sunday is unlike any that we have ever seen. We're not in the company of our church family, and yet we trust that God is still here. So take a photo of your space, of your candle. Ours blew out real fast. The breeze came and just took it out. I'm going to invite you to take a photo of your space, your journal, the people with you, whatever it is, and document this moment. You don't have to share it. I understand. We honestly, we're real hesitant of having our kids be on Facebook Live and posting pictures because we just don't like to usually do that with them. But today we wanted to be as a family and be with you, you who are our extended family. Quick note, and we're not going to talk about this today, but one of my favorite things about the John passage is that for the first time in the entire gospel, Jesus says, "Go and tell my brothers." Go and tell my brothers. Every instance before then, the Gospel of John, there is disciples, there's followers. But after the resurrection, they become family in ways that prior to it they were not. And so there's something amazing about the ways that Jesus makes family those of us who are not flesh and blood, the ways God makes us kin, even though we don't share the same bloodlines. So today our family joins yours this morning. So take a photo of your space and cherish this holy moment. This will be a day. This is an Easter to remember. So take a photo of it. Finally, we cannot be physically close to one another in this time, but we can be relationally close. So on this Easter morning, you are invited to pass the peace with your church family and loved ones by taking a moment to text or call people and let them know you are thinking about them. Send your Easter photo or post it on social media. You can tag @SanctifiedArt. That's where we got this morning's liturgy from. Or you can tag our church in it, Ridge United Methodist Church, to maintain your connectional nature, even in physical distancing. I like that distinction. It's physical distancing. It's not social distancing. We are no further apart today socially, but we are obviously apart physically. But you'll be amazed at how much a text or a phone call can brighten someone's day. So, dear ones, as you go forth into this day, and as you either join us at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern, or your home church, as you celebrate Easter, may your day be brightened, and may you brighten someone else's today. Send them a text, pass the peace, give a phone call, write a letter, post a picture. He is risen.
He's risen indeed.
So let us celebrate that as we go forth into this day. Peace be with you. I'll see you at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. And until then, God bless. And I look forward to singing Up from the Grave He Arose with you in just a few hours. We'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye.